news, but the good news is that you've already won. As a parent, whether you feel like it or not, you have already won the battle of helping your kids to navigate this kind of over-sexualized and dysfunctional culture around sex and sexuality. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 59:19, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord will raise a standard. It's a beautiful idea that when we feel beleaguered and when we feel assailed upon, when we feel outnumbered by the culture, and when we can't monitor our children constantly for 24 hours a day, and families now, churches are places of permeable boundaries where even though we try to keep our families safe, there are outside influences that come in and permeate our space and try to shape our children and their ideas, their personalities, try to arouse things in them when it is not yet time, when love is not quite ready, as Song of Solomon puts forth, that things get awakened earlier in our children than we would like. When the enemy comes in like a flood, it is the Lord that raises the standard. The idea of raising a standard is that we are in a battle, a standard. Jehovah Nissi is the name of God for his banner that he fights for us. And not only does he fight for us, but he gives us weaponry. And the greatest weapon that we have is the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God. So I want to give you five stratagem that will help you coach kids in biblical sexual ethics in this pornographic culture. And pornographic in the idea of Greek is, porna means prostitute, and graphane means to write. It's the idea of writing and propagating dysfunctional sexuality of, say, a prostitute, and globalizing and normalizing the world's perspective about sexuality. So when we talk about pornography, we're not just talking about print media or video or websites. We're talking about a mindset and a worldview in our culture that can be seen on commercials, even in family programming, that can be seen in television shows, and all manner of views are pornographic that are promoted in today's secular media. We must raise a standard against the spiritual warfare. I hate to tell you this, but the enemy of our souls hates your children. And he's come to steal and to kill and destroy. And I'm reminded of Amram and Jochebed, who hid their son Moses for as long as they could. And they put him in a reed basket and put him on the raging Nile by faith, and believed that their son would be okay because they protected him as long as they possibly could. I believe that we have a mandate as Christian parents to protect our children for as long as we can and shield them, even shelter them. In this culture, it is a bad thing to be sheltered or to shelter children, but it is our job to keep our children safe. And that is not just physically. That's not just giving them shelter, a roof over their head and a bed to sleep in and food to eat and clothes on their back. But we need to keep their minds safe. We need to keep their innocence intact. We need to keep their ethics intact and help them shape and distill ethics that will guide them for a lifetime.